Hi, this is Athena, and today we're going to talk about leaving home, going to another country, and studying, and the experience of it. Because today is the last day of school, so what's a better time to talk about this than the last day of school when you've already marked the official end of your entire first school year being in person in this environment. So a little context, I'm Athena, as I said, also known as C-A-T, my artist name. I am from Hong Kong, and I'm currently studying in Vancouver, SFU Theatre Performance. And yeah, this is my experience in coming to a new country to study. Yeah, and just want to talk about it. This is actually my second attempt at trying to record this video, because I started the first video, I went almost 10 minutes into it, and I feel like I was just going in way too much of a mess. So this time we're gonna be more organized, and let's start with the bullet points of the things that we'll be covering. So we'll be covering, of course, the making friends aspect. As someone in university, I think a lot of people transitioning to high school to university, their concerns would be about the relationship aspect of things. So there's that. Of course, then there's taking care of yourself, independence and stuff like that, and there's being alone when you're sick and stuff like that, and also about the walls. But that's very specific to, I think, Vancouver. Not sure about anywhere else, or maybe North America, not sure, haven't been to other places. But yeah, let's get into it. Oh, by the way, I mentioned that I'm here studying, but I'm just in case if anyone's thinking otherwise, yes, I'm alone in this country without my family members. My family members are all back in Hong Kong. So without further ado, let's get into the first point. To get into this first point, we also need to know a little bit about my school structure, which may contribute to how my experience worked in my course. So basically, in my school structure, my program structure, there's this cohort system. And basically what happens is that you go up with the same people. So you're in your first year, and then you just go up with the same group of people, unless if some people drop out. So you can't ever skip a semester or whatever. All you can do is drop down if you miss out anything. So what happened was that I was in my second year with my original cohort, and then I dropped down because of COVID, and I was in Hong Kong and stuff. So yeah, I dropped down. So this year I'm new in person and with a completely new group of people that has already known each other for a year. One good thing is that there's also someone else from my original cohort that also dropped down, so then we know each other, and I feel like that helped so much in terms of just getting leeway into having in-person friends. So that happened. So yeah, that brings me pretty well to the first thing of I think it is very a lot easier if you already know someone and then you're talking to them. But I think for most cases, when people are coming up to university or just coming to an entirely new environment, you just don't get the privilege of having someone you know around in that area. So spoiler alert, like even though I'm close to the person from my original cohort, they're actually not the closest person I have in my cohort, so I'll get into that. So honestly, it was very hard in the very beginning when I first came here. My mental health is already not amazing in general, so coming here and then having this very unfamiliar place, having to take care of myself, like everything just so new suddenly like shoved in your face, and then also like having no one to kind of go to, I feel like that is definitely something that's very common in people going into new places and new environment. And I feel like personally it is even worse just because of the time zone. Sometimes I would want to talk to my best friend from Hong Kong, and I feel like because of the time zone he would be working, or like I mean most of the time he isn't asleep because he has bad insomnia, and also because of school schedule. When I'm sad, it would be at nighttime, so he'll just be working. So like time zone also contributes to a lot. Like, so like if you have kind of like a safety person to go to when you're still transitioning, that would honestly be very helpful into going into a new environment. But if not, then it might be tougher on your end, which is kind of like what happened to me. Yeah, so it was tough getting to that because I am someone who struggles a lot in like people dynamics. So I love talking to people, so I make a lot of like casual friends, and like it's a little more than acquaintance because like we would talk about quite a lot of things, but we aren't exactly close friends because we're kind of like we, you know, like I just talk to them and that kind of disperse and stuff like that. Like I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm usually that kind of person where I kind of just like jump around people and like making a lot of casual connections. But I kind of struggle to make these very deep close friendships because I just don't know the differentiation between, you know, friends, close friend. Well, I guess friends, close friend, I guess I kind of maybe like close friends and like besties, like things like that. Or I would say best friend. To me, everyone's a bestie, but like best friend, that's a little different. My best friend would know, like literally I didn't even know that we're friends until much later. Yeah, so it's a little bit of a problem. If you hear my stomach growling, no you didn't. Anyways, so yeah, I started the semester with my dad being with me, and then he went back to Hong Kong, and I feel like that made the transition a little easier, so I'm not just like completely just thrown in the wild and like now you gotta learn what you gotta learn, you know. So that helped me in terms of like even the human side of things. So like just because I don't have any close friends or anything like that at school, I'm coming back home with like to someone, so I'm not just like completely alone. But the problem hit when my dad went back to Hong Kong. I started getting very depressed. Once again, my mental health is already not like amazing in general, so like I would be crying every single night from different contributing aspects. But yeah, it's just like, I would say that was because homesick, but also like the biggest aspects was because I, like, in the place that I reside in, there's a little bit of personal issues for me, and then there's also like the friends thing, so like I have no one to kind of spill those feelings to, and then there's, yeah, homesickness and different things. So I think what improved was when I brought up to some of the people in my cohort these issues, and just like bring up to them like, hey, like I think I've been having these like worries about friends, because I feel like I don't really remember exactly what I said. This was a semester ago. So yeah, so I was telling them, like, being very open about my feelings of yeah, so I've been worried about not having friends. Like, I feel like I have these connections, but no one to actually like consult, like, is that the word? Or just like no one to go to when I have these very serious things. And I feel like having that conversation alone was already very helpful, because I was able to be like that friend was like, well, you can come to me if you wanna, and stuff like that. And also another helping thing was that there is this Taiwanese girl from my class, and then on the first day when I like got to class, and then we all introduced ourselves and stuff like that, after that I just went straight up to her and I'm like, you're from Taiwanese, right? You're from Taiwan, right? So you speak Mandarin? Speak Mandarin to me, because I need practice. And that's kind of how I forced her to be friends with me. Well, no, she was pretty willing, I would say, but yeah, I would say it's just overall moral of the lesson is just, you gotta be bold and step out of your comfort zone. Like, especially in these spaces where like, I would say that our cohort isn't as cliquey, but still, like, small friend groups has already formed. So when you want to break these things and make friends for yourself in these environment, you really have to be the person to kind of just step up, because I mean, even at the very beginning, like, the big friend group, they did ask me, well, like, one girl did ask me, but like, whether or not I want to eat together and stuff like that, and I ate with them. But I feel like I just clicked better with Ruby, which is like the Taiwanese girl that I mentioned earlier, and there's also another girl called Cherry who we eat together. But yeah, so like, Ruby's my closest friend from the cohort. So yeah, I would say even then, like, yes, I know it might sound a little weird because I said that, well, I made this friend right from the get-go. Then why was I depressed about like the whole friend thing? Because that's the thing about different friend dynamics. Because I literally just got to know them. I'm making friends with them. So I would say we're at the like friends level, but I would say spilling all your beans, like spilling your heart out, would be like close friend or best friend level. And just because I don't know where exactly we are, I don't know whether or not she would be comfortable with me spilling my beans, you know? So that was also like the hard thing. So yeah, it's like, like now I know that I can be telling her things, but previously when you just get to know someone, you don't just like trauma dump, or you just don't be like, last night I was thinking of unaliving myself. Like, you don't, well, maybe, I think it depends on dynamic. Like, yeah, most of the time I don't think that's a socially acceptable thing to do. So yeah, that's the part about making friends. It was a little bit messy, but too long. Didn't listen. Overall, I would just say, yes, it's an age-old tale that you gotta just step out and like do your thing. You gotta just be the person who step up, because yes, sometimes some people might invite you first, and if you guys click, then amazing. But sometimes maybe the people who invited you, like, you click with them, but just not as well as other people. But like, how do I say that? Like, it's better to take things in your own hand and just talk to them first. It might be hard, but be the one who approach. And also, if by any means, by any chance, like, you have similar situations as me where you started having these like very like uncomfortable feelings, thoughts, really bad thoughts and stuff like that, and you feel like you can't talk to the person, make the conversation about that and asking them whether or not they're comfortable with like having these like really serious conversations. Yeah, sorry, I'm just gonna do like one last summary just because I think I trailed off a little on the asking thing. So last summary about the making friends part. You have to be the one to reach out to people, because it's better for you to take things in your own hands, and also like be honest about your feelings, be honest about like your maybe insecurities about making friends and things like that, or when you're having bad thoughts and things like that. Be honest about that and ask them if they're willing to talk about it. Basically just have like healthy approach people, and also have healthy communication. Yes, and that's the end of the making friends section. Yes, that was tough. And then the second part, taking care of yourself. I'm sure like this is on a lot of people's mind. Like, taking care of yourself is probably like, I don't know if you value your personal life more or your social life more, but basically taking care of yourself is one of the biggest aspect of just being alone in a new country, a new city. And so of course, coming into this new place, I would expect that I need to take care of myself, but it's so different when you actually like have to do it, you know? Like, there, like, just like how a lot of different issues, like knowing something and actually facing the thing in real life, that's completely different. I would say the biggest thing that I feel like really changed up my lifestyle is just groceries. Like, literally, I never have to buy my own groceries. Back in Hong Kong, I was living with my dad, so he would be the one to buy groceries, he would be the one to cook. The fact that I never really cook anything except for frozen stuff or instant stuff, that contributes quite a bit. I did some online groceries during COVID when I was doing online school, because I had to eat my own meals due to time differences. because my online school was at Vancouver time. But yeah, the fact that I never really have to go on like full on healthy meals and stuff like that for myself, and going out to the grocery store to buy meals, that contributes so much. Like, I was whole ass being like, oh, do I need to buy garlic? What's the, like, how do you buy garlic? Like, the weight, how small, like, how much is too much garlic? How, like, things like that. All these different questions. Like, and I think the biggest issue that I struggle even now is kind of just like thinking of what meals to make. But I would say I'm pretty innovative. So sometimes I just go on like Tasty, like this app / website, and then there's like some kind of very easy to make recipes. Some good beginner recipes I would recommend in general, not just like on the Tasty recipe. It would be pasta, fried rice, rice cake, like Korean rice cake, and bibimbap, and curry, actually, Japanese curry. So yeah, those are things that like because I have to cook for myself, and I basically just always make fried rice. So because there's a good level of veggies and meat and rice, so I really just gotta wash everything, chop everything, marinate stuff, and then kind of like dump them all together and fry it. So it's honestly the easiest if you are someone who wants to start something, but also like if you don't care about repeating the meals, then honestly, like, I eat that all the time, and you can switch up with the veggies and meat. So yeah, I am also a little experimental when it comes to food, so that sometimes it fails, sometimes like, but yeah, it like, I would say groceries, that's kind of like completely new territory for me. Like, just thinking of what you need to buy, what you still have in the fridge, what's gonna expire, what you need to finish soon, and things like that. That's why bibimbap and fried rice is so useful, because honestly, whatever you have in your fridge, you can just like throw it in there. What I can't do is do that with milk or whipped cream, so I'm still struggling with that, because I have this like maybe 1 to 2 day old expired whipped cream that I don't want to throw away yet, because it still hasn't gone bad. But yeah, basically groceries, so different when you're just starting yourself. So maybe if you are taking advice, I would suggest that maybe you would want to go to the groceries with your parents, or like start doing groceries where you're from, or like either that or with your parents, so you, or just like anyone, so you would like know what to get. And then the only difference you need to do here is learn how to price match, because oh yeah, that's the other thing, like price matching is so important, like because different places has things that is more expensive and cheaper, you know, like TNT has the cheapest dairy, like they have the cheapest milk and stuff, and then I've heard, I only learned of that recently, but produce is more expensive at TNT, and like just get them at any other stores. And of course, like if you have access to places like No Frills and Costco, that's different, but because I pretty much live alone, so I don't have Costco, and also there's no Frills near me, so all I have is TNT, IGA, and Nesters, and London Drugs. So yeah, pretty much just like do your research. If you want to save money, like of course if you don't really care about the tiny little money, then like you can just go ahead and buy whatever you need wherever. But if you care about saving even the tiniest little bit, just do your research and price match. Yeah, I've already covered cooking and laundry. I would say it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just, you know, like you gotta do your own laundry. The one thing that I'll warn you that I didn't expect would be a concern is that when you're really busy, you just like when I had rehearsals, like full day rehearsals every single day until Sunday, like Sunday's my only break, and then I'm back again to the loop. So I'm pretty much at school all day for 6 days. Yeah, I couldn't do my laundries, and that's the problem because I have like 4 towels. And then my dad was like, well, use your towels like 2 times or something like that, and like because all you do is wipe water. And I was like, fine. But yeah, like when you're really busy, like laundry schedule is something that I definitely didn't expect to get a problem with. So I would say the best thing is really just to have more than what you would wear. Like let's say if you usually have like a laundry cycle of, I don't know, 3 days a week, or like yeah, three days until you wash it. Like don't just have like maybe a lot of people, they have more than 3 items of clothes, but I feel like a lot of people like there's quite a few people who just have very small selections of like clothing. Just have more backups. Maybe you don't need that much, but just have more than your laundry rotation. So if you by any chance have to kind of delay 1 day of laundry, like that's fine. But it's nothing that much for laundry. I just feel like it's like, I just want to point out the schedule thing because that I definitely didn't expect. So yeah, and then my next point would be about sickness, because I think a lot of people know, but living with yourself and just being sick or being so fatigued that you can't even do anything like cooking and stuff, it's so hard. It is really, really hard because there are a couple of times where I was just really sick or I was in a lot of pain, like let's say period cramps, and like there's no one to take care of you. Yeah, and it's just it's really hard. And honestly, I often have these thoughts that's just like if anything happened to me, like when will people realize? I think probably quite quick because my dad always checks in on me, but like yeah, like physically no one can help you with, let's say, cooking you something, like getting you hot chocolate when you're like, let's say, having cramps, and that sucks. Yeah. And last but not least, this is specific to, I think, Vancouver or North America, I'm not so sure. Basically, like, I'm used to the walls in Hong Kong. The walls are not so thin, but here, even as I'm speaking right now, I think that my roommate can probably hear me. Like, if you're wondering, like, I thought you live alone, why roommate? We basically coexist in this apartment. I live with people. but we all go on our different timelines, and I wouldn't say we are friends, we just coexist very peacefully. So that's why I was like, if anything happens to me, would anyone know? Because like, I wouldn't think that she would notice and things like that. Yeah, so it's pretty much like living alone, but except like you would be a little worried about being too loud and things like that, because you wouldn't want to disrupt the lives of your roommate. But yeah, it's just like the walls are so thin. Sometimes I'm just on my bed and then I would actually be able to hear what people are talking about on the other side, and then like sometimes I can absolutely hear like super clearly conversations from like downstairs, like on the pavement. So that's insane. That's not something that ever happened to me back when I was in Hong Kong. But yeah, this is a whole big rant, but honestly it's a little messy. But overall, I hope you enjoyed it. Summary: make friends. When you're making friends, be the one to step out and have healthy communications. Be honest about your feelings. When you're taking care of yourself, for groceries, just price match, check out different places, and also like learn how to do groceries before moving to this new place. I would feel like that would help. Cooking, just go online and do some easy recipe and then kind of level your way up there. Laundry, have backups. You know, sometimes you're just too tired or too busy. And when you're sick, sometimes like it just sucks because no one's there to help you. And then also walls are very thin here in Vancouver. And that's it for my reflection and summary of my experience coming to a new environment, a new country to study abroad. I was also gonna talk about like whether if I prefer being here or in Hong Kong, because that's a question that I get asked so much, but I'll leave that for maybe like another video. And that's about it for today's video. If you did stick around for the entire video, props to you. You're amazing. You're so cool. You'll be even cooler if you subscribe to my channel. If you like this video and if you comment down below, but you don't have to comment down below, just like this video and subscribe. You're not so cool if you don't do that. And if you have friends, then make sure to share this video with them so you can prove to me that you have friends, and also they can see like this very cool content of me basically rambling for 30 minutes. Yeah, because how else am I gonna know that whether or not you have friends, right? So yeah, prove to me that you have friends by doing that. But yeah, I have no idea whether or not anyone would stay for the entirety of the video, but the goal of many of my videos is basically just to serve as background noises, so people can just like listen to someone talking absolute nonsense as they're doing stuff like laundry and stuff. So if you don't value your content but you like me talking, like the sound of things, then you can for sure check out other videos I have on my channel, like walkie talkies. They're basically a series where I was walking home late from rehearsal and I needed to video myself because I'm scared, and yeah, pretty much because I live alone, so like no one would know, like and I upload, that would tell anyone who cares that I'm safe and well, and I upload every Tuesday and Thursday. And that's about it for today's video. I really gotta shut up, and I'll see you in my next video if you're cool. Okay, bye.